Oh, look at those two handsome gentlemen right there on the screen. What's up, Brian?
Not much, buddy. How you been?
I've been good. Busy, but good.
Busy sleeping in the fucking chair over here.
That is not busy. That's an actual requirement. It's a medical. Yeah. We'll be right back.
Yeah. Okay, for anybody watching who can't see, to my right is a recliner with a dog sitting in it that is new. And I think he's moved in here because he doesn't leave the studio now.
Well, it's not new. It's just new in the studio.
There's
actually,
fridge in the corner.
Yeah, don't
TV
judge.
on the wall.
Don't judge.
Freaking porns on that thing like 24/7. No.
You know, I never thought about that. However,
it's a good idea.
Just because I don't believe you, I'm going to have to probably put it to the test.
Curtains right here.
Right?
Yep.
Right? Or just wait till the kids go to school.
Yeah, a little bifold. You just fold it out.
Oh, yeah.
That's your beat off mat.
Like one of them fucking, you know what? I got the fucking training mat right over there.
There you go. You just
Put that
fold
right
it out. Yeah.
door.
Go, I'm just practicing vertical jujitsu.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Is that right? Vertical? Would it be vertical?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes you get vertical, sometimes you get horizontal.
We were just talking a bit before we started about how slow we're moving today. This is like in slow motion.
Oh, real quick. Now I finally remember what I want to tell you. I figured out what all that bubble and all that other crap was.
Okay.
It's built into the system. So if you do things like...
Oh, yeah. Remember we thought about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. There it is.
Hey.
Why'd we get balloons?
I don't know. Peace? Whatever.
And the thumb is this.
Yeah. Give it a thumbs up there. The camera's right there.
Oh, I know. That's what I was doing. It did nothing.
Oh. We'll see if it'll do something to that.
Okay.
No?
Will it give us anything?
Yeah, maybe.
Nothing. But just give it a peace sign.
How about an okay? God, aren't we fucking retarded or what?
Well, now we know. Should we not move?
Right?
Should we sit on our hands?
So move. It's impossible.
We'll just be like that?
Right?
Yeah.
Until you fart. Then you got to sniff it.
I got a good one on my son the other day, right? I had a good day. I caught it.
Yeah.
He was watching TV, and I said, Merry Christmas. And I freaking just dumped it off, man. From my hand to his freaking lungs and nasal passage. And he went, oh!
Son, that's a gift you don't have to unwrap.
Merry Christmas.
That's hilarious. So I've been, I don't think you have. I have a buddy, Matt Curran, who I do the podcast for him for Convenient Communities. And I belong to his platform. It's a great platform. Ask anyone, they'll tell you. It's a really cool platform. You know, it's designed for entrepreneurs and people that have a story to tell, get their stuff out there. It's awesome. We'll go into that later. By later, I mean I'll forget to tell it later. But anyway, so he has me creating a podcasting class.
Okay.
So that's what I've been doing for the last 2 weeks, man. I've gone deep. I put together 7 modules. So the first one is, beginning, gear, that kind of stuff, how to get guests, how to interview guests, how to get it out there, all this stuff. So that's what I've been doing, and that's why I'm exhausted. I've been up to like 1 just about every night working on this thing.
Okay.
And I'll show it to you later off the show. Just a quick snapshot of it so you get an idea. Fuck, man, you have been putting in some work.
Okay.
But I've done videos for it. It's crazy. But anyway, so today I got to take a break, man. So I didn't do any of that. And I'm kind of thinking I probably should have because now I feel sluggish, because I didn't, I want to say I didn't do much, but, I went and I had an awesome massage.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I had my left shoulder, dude, is jacked. So I've got all these trigger points, these adhesions, and just a lot of muscle spasming. This lady was amazing, man. I'm moving my arm again. And then, no, I won't say that.
You know what? I got my last massage was last January or February, maybe March. I was in Cancun, and it was a little Hispanic lady was doing it. When she got done,
Chatters looks like.
She said, what did she say to me? She whispered in my ear, "That's it." And it was like I looked over. Did I tell you this story? I looked over at my wife and I said, "Man,
I don't think so.
I never got to look at her, but she sounded fucking hot."
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for joining in the room. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. I tell you what, this lady is so freaking good that I told Connie, I said, you got to go check this lady out. And we were going to cancel our membership at Massage Lux, right? Mm-hmm. This was my last massage.
Is that the one that's right off of Winghaven?
Yeah.
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 I've been there.
No, not off of Winghaven. It's right over there across the street from Walmart. But I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the one. I had a gift card or something there one year. And
yeah.
I made a mistake of going and getting a massage you're not supposed to drink, but we'd had plans that night to drink.
Right.
And it hits you heavier.
Oh, yeah.
So.
It's a good, never mind, I won't. I do not endorse that.
Sure you don't.
Anyway, so yeah, my last massage on our little membership thing, and we were canceling it, and I get this chick. I'm like, well, shit. She's the only one that I've had that I can fall asleep during the massage. Mm-hmm. I'm too, you know how I am. I'm fucked up. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, man, every time I go, I've gotten to the point now I don't even bring Alma with me. That's how comfortable and that's how good she is. I am out.
Nice.
In fact, today when I went, I was like, well, I laid down on the table. She goes, as usual. I said, yeah. I said, good night. She goes, yeah, I figured as much.
So do you do what Deshaun Watson did from the Texans? You remember that story?
No.
The quarterback for the Houston Texans, and he would come in and he would like get completely naked and take like a washcloth and just put it over his freaking pecker, and then like try to move it off like midway through. Yeah, he got up like he was suspended. The NFL suspended him for I think 6 games and fined the shit out of him. No, maybe it was a year, dude. I think they've suspended him a whole year. Wow. Because there was like this motherfucker was like what would you call that? A serial massage assaulter. Is that what it would be?
I would just call it just plain old sexual assault.
Yeah, I mean, it's really what it is. Dude, they were popping up. One girl came forward and said, this motherfucker came in with fucking, did this and pulled it off, and he had fucking wood. And then the shit just flew. Like, everyone was like, yeah, he fucking did that to me, too. And they, like, just went nuts, yeah. But I think it was like a whole year he was suspended. Wow. I think his first year back was this year, but yeah.
You know what? We should get a guest on here that is a massage therapist and tell us some of their creepy
stories. Fucking weird shit.
Because, man, I get down to my underwear. And that's it.
That's what I do, yeah. And they'll tell you, like, a lot of them will say you can get naked, get in that robe, and put a towel on. To me, it's weird.
Yeah, I'm okay, thanks. Yeah, I'll keep.
I already feel guilty because I'm making them. Like I have that guilt. Well, let me do something for you.
I don't feel guilty at all.
Let me take your dog for a walk or something.
I got over that shit.
Yeah, for me it was kind of weird. I didn't get my first massage like a couple years ago. Dude,
when we went to Thailand, no, it's not one of those massages. The resort that we stayed at, they had a massage stand on the beach. And they had like 6 or 8 tables in there. You could go in there and get a massage all throughout the day. I think they closed, when the sun went down or something like that. And it was so freaking cheap. So Connie and I were going there for breakfast, go there for lunch, go there for dinner. We just massage heaven, man. And these tiny little Thai women, they would fuck you up, man.
Right.
They would put you in some pain.
Yeah, I always get the deep tissue ones. Yeah. Like we're at like everywhere, just kill it.
Man,
usually the back or shoulders or neck.
They kill it. These tiny, and they're old, man. They're nothing to look at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's no threat of, oh man, I got a hot one. Maybe I might pop a little wood. No, there's not a chance with these ladies.
You know how like when you go in and they have the so where do you want us to focus on? And for me it was always like back or do the shoulders or the neck. Right. In Thailand they probably have, you could probably put down like pecker or something, right?
Yeah. Well, so this freaked me out the first time it happened. When they say it's a full body massage, it's a full body massage. This lady, she took the back of her hand. Like massaging down my legs and everything. Took the back of her hand and just smacked my pecker out of the way. I said, "What the fuck was that, shit? Man?"
Like she went down in the fucking area.
They were everywhere, man. They were in glutes. Like I noticed this lady here. A lot of the stateside ones, they won't touch the glutes, right? they'll leave your butt alone
Okay.
unless you specifically say, "Hey, I need you to focus on that." But now these women, they don't care, man. They're getting their money and fuck it, the whole thing. But at the same time, there's absolutely nothing sexual about it because they're getting in there so deep and they're hurting you, man. You're like, there's no way, man, unless you're a sadist, and into that shit.
I watched this Asian one. A guy was getting a fucking body wax. I think that's what it was. Yeah, she was waxing the guy. And he was completely naked. And he had fucking full wood going.
Oh.
And somebody was filming. He must have been filming her or something, and he fucking just lost it. She came up and accidentally brushed against his cock.
Oh, shit.
And you just see it kind of start to... and it just starts fucking shooting,
man, that's so...
And he goes, "Oh, whoa," and you can hear him, "Oh, sorry." And she's like, "Oh," and she just kind of went back to freaking doing her thing. Like,
creepy,
isn't it? One of my buddies, his close friend in Vegas had a tattoo shop, and he would have girls get orgasms all the time when he'd be tatting them up. And I go, "What do you do, dude?" And he's like, "I just let it."
Till like nothing ever happened.
Just let it go, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, just keep going, man.
I have been to a couple massage places that after I got there found out were kind of seedy, when they're coming to the end of the massage, they're like, "Hey, you want anything extra? $1 million would be nice. How about you let me get the fuck out of here?"
So you never did that?
No, man.
Really?
I can say that I was a pretty deviant motherfucker before Connie.
Mm-hmm. But you didn't do that.
That's one thing. I don't want to. To me, I like getting massages, man, and I don't want to ever cross that line and make it fucking weird and make me never want to go back and get another massage.
Right.
So yeah. But I've known a lot of people who have.
Yeah, I've heard. I don't know them personally, but I've heard of people that have. I know people that know people that have. Dude, that's so fucking weird to me. Like,
right. It's like,
and there's no. I like the thrill of the hunt. Like, there's no. I paid somebody fucking money to. So there's no fun in that.
I served with this guy in my last battalion. I'm not going to mention his name, but we called him Hedgehog.
Mm-hmm.
And
Ron Jeremy. He's in jail now. Is he in jail?
Yeah, he's in jail. But no, we didn't call him Hedgehog for that. But yeah, same principle, I guess. But this was a seedy motherfucker, man. Every time we'd pull into a new port or a New Liberty, whatever, this motherfucker was on the prowl for any kind of, massage, whores, whatever, man. Yeah. Whatever you could. It's like, you didn't even have to ask. You knew where it was going. So he's like, one night he talked me into going out with him because we were going to go. We were actually in Japan, and we went down to, we were at Mount Fuji. We took the train down to go to Yokosuka. And we're just going to hit the bars in the club. We'll go to the E-Club and this, that, the other, the enlisted club. Like, all right, cool. And then once the E-Club closed, he's like, "Come on, man, I know some great spots." He took me down this dark-ass alley into this bar. We had to go up 3 flights of stairs to get to, man. And it was one of those, have you ever heard of a buy me drinky bar?
Mm-mm.
So what they do is they have these girls, and a lot of times they get them from Philippines, and they're sex trafficked, basically is what they are. And you buy them a $20 drink that's that big. I don't know if you can see.
Mm-hmm.
And 9 times out of 10, it's got water in it.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll come and they'll sit on your lap, and they'll rub your leg, and they'll tell you stories, and then, some of them will let you. They're whores, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so he brings me into this, and once I figure out I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here, bro? I thought we said we weren't doing any of this shit. He goes, "Oh, man, there's nothing else. All the other bars are closing, and, I want to get something." I'm like, whatever, dude. So I fucking sat at the bar talking to some old retired Navy guy who, was basically an expatriate and lived in Japan. And I talked to this dude for like an hour and a half waiting on fucking Hedgehog to get his business off. If you
like
know
a
what I'm
fucking
saying.
old Western, right? Like he stopped in the brothel on the way through town.
Yeah,
dropping the
dude.
cattle off, and then I'll be back in an hour.
Yeah, but way creepier. And these chicks, man, they're nothing to look at. What up, Bear?
I had a couple buddies, and we were in our early 20s, and one of them was we went to high. I went to high school with one, and they were friends, and I didn't know him well, but he would come back. He was up in like Seattle, made a business made good money. He was peddling drugs. And he would come back and get my other buddy and treat him to Vegas like all the time. And he'd take him out to the chicken ranch one time. And he says, well, what do we do? He goes, just I'll pay for 2 girls each. Just pick who you want. So he goes, they bring them out, you pick.
The chicken ranch, or was it the Mustang?
I don't know. That it was
the one that 20. Was famous for being the legal brothel.
It was like, it was, I think.
I know,
it was years ago, yeah. There was a Bunny Ranch, Chicken Ranch.
Bunny Ranch.
Yeah. Those were all out in Pahrump, I think. So you could just drive out into the desert and go to those. But he picked 2 girls, and he goes, they take a sponge, and they like fucking wipe your shit down. And then they put a condom on, and he goes, first one got ice cubes. And so you get, I think he paid for 3 orgasms.
Oh, and
he goes, my first one was just like, he goes, 2. She put the condom on, put an ice cube in her mouth. He's like, I'm down to 2. And then he goes, I go, well, that's a lot. And he goes, yeah, but they were so good at what they did. It was no time at all.
Jeez, man.
And then they clean you back up, and he goes, I was out fucking waiting in the lobby for, that's so quick, because I'm waiting in the lobby for the other guy.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes it's all about staying on that bull for that full 8 seconds, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's not I couldn't do it. It's not my thing. I gotta.
Yeah.
It's just too weird.
So, we used to go, again, this is a BC story. I had been separated and going through a divorce with my first wife. And I lived with this guy that, he's a real piece of shit. We'll just put it that way. I might have told you about him before, but anyway.
Yeah, I think you told me one story, but I don't think this one.
Real piece of shit. But anyway, his thing was going to titty bars down in Waikiki in Honolulu. And at the time, I was in E6. He was in E6. The Marine Corps is very big on fraternization. Mm-hmm. So E6 was considered a staff NCO. So staff NCOs couldn't hang out with NCOs, nor anyone lower. Mm-hmm. Well, it just so happened there's only one other first class E6 in my battalion, and he had family. So, you know, I didn't have anybody to hang out with, basically, is what I'm saying. So I was kind of stuck with this guy by default. So, man, many a nights we would go down there to these not the big name ones, of course. He'd have to go find the shady ones, and well, you can imagine why he was looking for them shady ones. So here I am stuck in this fucking titty bar, you know, and girls constantly coming up to, hey, you want to dance, whatever. So I would end up going up, sitting at the bar so they'd leave me the hell alone, waiting on this clown for hours, man. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
What was he doing for?
I don't know. Yeah,
that's like he fell asleep.
I didn't want to ask, you know, it was a creepy vibe. And of course, this dude was a heavy alcoholic. Mm-hmm. To be fair, so was I. Mm-hmm. But on a lot of those nights, I wouldn't drink because I wanted to make sure I got home.
Right, yeah. Because you're in this fucking environment. You're like, well, I got to keep my wits about me.
Right.
Because that motherfucker's not caring.
Nope. And every time he'd be fucking shit-faced. So I ended up being the designated driver most of the times. And it wasn't a lot of fun. Mm-mm. And so
fuck that guy.
To this day, I don't get the whole idea, the whole meaning or thrill of going to a titty bar. It doesn't do anything for me.
Never did for me either. Again, it was I had buddies that loved it, and I would go because we thought it was fun, thought it was cool. But for me, dude, I don't want to spend fucking $15 for beer.
Hey, Heather, what's up? No, I don't believe in feeding panties, man.
Yeah.
You know, I go back to I work too hard for this shit to throw money at something I know I'm never going to have a snowballs and chance in hell with.
Right, and you're going to leave with a fucking couple diseases.
Right.
Fucking scratching for days.
Right. Or some
pissing is going to burn.
Right, yeah. I got rid of that. But, wait, what? Not a few antibiotics.
That's one thing I never had. I've known a lot of people that picked up some STDs in their life, and it's all just the quality of women they were with. It's like
for sure.
you see. I mean, of course she gave you warts,
dude. I can't tell you how many I've treated, especially overseas.
On guys or just like in the Navy.
Yeah, military, Marines.
So, like, what did you have? What did you treat?
Majority, a lot of chlamydia. A lot of chlamydia.
So what? Now that's where it burns and drips, right? Is that?
Well, it's gonorrhea. Chlamydia can sometimes go asymptomatic, meaning they don't have any symptoms at all. But there's almost always a discharge. Mm-hmm. That's what usually
cheesy
brings
discharge.
Them in.
I remember that in sex health. Cheesy discharge.
That's more the gonorrhea, but yeah, there's definitely a discharge with the chlamydia. So a lot of chlamydia, a lot of gonorrhea. Believe it or not, in some geographical locations, syphilis it's on the rise, and it's still prevalent, even though it's a treatable disease. Motherfuckers just being nasty, man. So we would get repeat offenders a lot. So we would do what's called punching the bore, and that's where you take a swab and you insert it into the urethra, and you get a good sample, and you send it off to the lab.
Did you get a couple drinks in there while you're...
Well, it depends on how much they were
clean
willing.
it out, and you kind of go like that and look at him real quick.
It would
Put
depend
your hand on the shoulders.
Yeah, it would depend on how much money they were willing to pay. You know, $20 is $20. God damn it. You know, I wasn't making a lot of money back then.
Give him a couple tugs.
Hell yeah, times are hard out there. I heard it's not gay if you don't look him in the eye. That's what I hear.
Yeah.
But so a lot of times, especially nowadays, you know, as times have gone on and lab tests have improved and whatnot, we don't necessarily do that anymore. Now we just have them piss in a cup, and we can detect it that way. But for repeat offenders, we wouldn't have piss in the cup. You're getting your bore punched, motherfucker. And we're going to make it as painful as possible because you're wasting everybody's time by doing this. And seriously, back in the day, back in the late 80s, early 90s, you could get in trouble for that. You go to office hours or NJP, non-judicial punishment, and you could get busted for that shit.
Wow. So what's the worst that you ever seen?
I'm glad you asked that. So I think I've told you this part of this story before, and it sounds like a joke, but let me assure you it's not. So the way we used to do sick call back in the day is we had, and this was before HIPAA, and this is before, well, not really before Privacy Act, but it was before HIPAA. So all you people out there are going to call in and say, that's a violation of HIPAA, blah, blah, blah. It didn't exist back then.
Right.
So we would have a logbook, a green logbook. I don't think just like that one right there, that green book, have it open, and patients would log in, and they'd put the reason why they're there. And then as we got done with the patients, we'd come grab another one. Well, it was my turn to grab this one Marine, and in the book, he had foot problem. So I get him back to the exam room. All right, what's wrong with your foot? And he looked me in straight my eye, no laughing, no smiling, no nothing. He said, my dick keeps dripping on it. I laughed.
Yeah, right.
Because I thought that shit was funny until he showed me. This shit was like a fucking faucet, man. This is the worst case of gonorrhea I've ever seen. Everything we threw at him did not work. So
okay, so hold on. Is that what it does? And it just constant. Well, not constant, but it drips.
It drips.
In his case, it was chronic dripping.
It was a rapid drip.
Rapid chronic dripping.
So
just not. Where's the fluid come from? Is it just an infection?
Yes.
Okay.
And it burns. It really.
As it's dripping, or just nonstop, like perpetual.
Well, for him, it was nonstop. Normally, it's for individuals only when they urinate.
Okay.
It feels like what I'm told. I've never had it. What I'm told is it feels like razor blades slicing through your crank when you're pissing.
Wow.
So for gonorrhea, yeah, people will come see you quick. But so this was a resistant strain. We didn't know it at the time, obviously. So it was resistant to every antibiotic we tried on him, and we used some big guns on him. It was so bad, as a matter of fact, that we ended up having to medevac him back to the States. Oh, I forgot to mention a key important part. This was in the Philippines in the early 90s.
Uh-huh.
So if you know anything about the Philippines in the early 90s, it's exactly what all the stories about Thailand you hear today are, but more. So they called it the adult Disneyland. So you can let your imagination run wild. As a matter, I got another fun story that I can't tell you on here, but I will tell you afterwards.
So wait, but back to this. So it was just constant dripping.
Yes.
And it was on his foot.
Well,
But that was what he's saying. It's kind of like it just dripping on my feet all the time. Even what did he do when he had his pants up? Like, is it just fucking dripping, or did he have it?
Yeah. So he put foot problem and said it was dripping on his foot because he didn't want to put his dick is dripping in the fucking logbook.
Sure, yeah. So that was his. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, you don't want to go in for that anyway.
Right. But here's the deal. This individual, it had progressed and progressed, and had gotten so bad that the disease had started eating away the bowels of his heart. Mm-hmm. So here's a cat in his mid-20s who has to get open heart surgery because he dipped his dick somewhere it didn't belong. Now, but wait, there's more. It gets better. He got to explain to his wife why he was having heart surgery. So, long story long, they ended up medically discharging him from the Marine Corps over gonorrhea. That's the worst case I've ever seen.
Let's not leave out the fact that he got fucking med-flighted.
Oh, yeah.
Because of gonorrhea.
Millions of dollars spent on this guy.
You okay? Did you get shot? Dick hurts.
Yeah. So this was very short after Desert Storm. So we're talking maybe 6 months after Desert Storm.
So did he get divorced? Did he give it to his wife?
I don't know, man. No, he didn't give it to his wife because we were on deployment when he contracted it.
So how does it get into the heart? Is it just it's like a parasite?
It's bacteria. And it's a
But wouldn't it go through like was it all over inside of him or just
this particular gonorrhea for whatever reason likes to focus, if it's not treated, on joints, the heart. It's just really, it's a nasty. Gonorrhea could kill you if it went untreated.
Yeah, I thought it was one of the worst, but syphilis was the one that it would deform you, right? It'd be back in the day before they could cure you of it. Syphilis, it just would eat away at your brain and head. And
so there's basically 4 stages of syphilis. You have your primary, secondary, your tertiary, and then your latent stage. And the latent stage, if you get to the latent stage, you're dead. You're gone because once it's progressed to the latent stage, there's no treatment. And that's when it does exactly what you're talking about. It eats away at the brain. It literally makes you crazy. In fact, Al Capone had
that was syphilis,
stage.
Right? Yeah.
But there's primary, secondary. Those are treatable. Even tertiary can be treatable. But at the tertiary stage, damage has been done.
Mm-hmm.
Damage that can't be repaired to the body. So, and it was huge back in Capone's time, 20s, 30s. It's making a comeback. In fact, if you drive around anywhere in Pensacola, you'll see billboards all over the frickin' place. It's got some chick's face on it, and it says syphilis ? I mean, it's everywhere down there, right? Jesus.
I had when I was in Vegas, I had a friend. He wasn't one to go out. He didn't get much, He just hang out. And one night he called me the next day and told me about it. He goes, dude, I met this fucking hot. He was probably in his 30s at the time, and she was like early 20s. And he goes, she was just hot, and we hung out. Went back to my place, knocked it out. And he goes, I really like her. Hope it goes somewhere. And then
it's going somewhere.
Yeah, it's fucking really going somewhere. So he goes, he called me like the next day. He said he was going to have her over or something at one point. And he goes, she never came over. I just got a text that said, by the way, I found out I have chlamydia. You better go see your doctor. And I went, fuck. He goes, she texted to me. And I go, fuck, dude. And the only thing that could go through my mind is like, dude, you score like once every fucking 3 years. Like, this isn't even fucking possible, dude. How is it you're like in a wasteland of like zero pussy, and all of a sudden you finally get some, and she gives you fucking chlamydia. So he goes, he went to the doctor and he got checked, and then he was clean. And I go, so
they treat him anyway.
I can't remember now.
I'm pretty sure they did.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe they gave him something. Yeah, dude. So he said to me, he goes, yeah, so I'm fine. And, I go, did you fucking call her back? And he goes, yeah, I asked her if she wanted to come over for dinner. I said, what? And he goes, yeah, I asked her. And he goes, well, what would you have done? I said, dude, if some fucking bitch gave me chlamydia, you better leave the fucking state. Like, I better never see you again. But
you know what? I will say kudos to her for at least telling him. So
in a fucking text, yeah, I mean, great. Kudos to her.
But it makes me wonder.
Well, she had to know because it was like the next day. It was like the next day she goes, oh, by the way, I found out I had chlamydia. You might want to get to the doctor. Dude, it couldn't happen. The nicest guy in the world. But dude, he just wasn't a player. He wasn't in the game much. And in the minute he steps into the game, he gets handed a potential disease.
It makes me wonder, did it not go as well for her as it did for him? And she's like, I got to tell this dude something to get rid of him. Because he tested clean. Maybe,
yeah. And the killer part was he was like, still, okay, well, fuck, I'm good, So if you want to hook up again, we can. Or come over for some lasagna.
I'll tell you why.
I got to invite her over and beat her to death with fucking pillowcase stuff with fucking padlocks, I'll
tell you why I'm leaning towards that. It's because there's an incubation period. And the next day is too soon. She didn't.
Yeah, she knew, right?
Yeah.
Or she didn't have it.
That's what I'm saying. She probably didn't have it, or she just randomly went to the doctor out of the blue and, oh, by the way, ma'am, you tested positive.
Just don't answer the phone.
Right.
Right? You don't need to lie and send someone to the fucking doctor.
Right.
Don't answer the phone.
Right.
Or say, hey, I'm not interested. If you like, I've always been chicken shit to do that. Like, if I just make a mistake, like, you'll never see me again. Like, looks like I'm not going to that bar anymore. But
so that makes me think of another topic. Have you ever had a stalker?
I'm sure, dude. Like,
bro.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, but I mean, like, what kind of a stalker? Like, boiling rabbits or?
Well, I don't know if I let it get to that far, but again, another BC story.
Mm-hmm.
I'd met this chick, and one thing led to the other, and business was happened, and I wasn't interested, man.
Mm-hmm.
And so she just kept calling and would show up, and I would tell her, look, that was a one night thing. I'm not interested. Mm-hmm. You got to quit calling me because I don't like you.
Yeah.
And fucking months, every fucking day.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I would be mean to her to see, think maybe that would get her to leave, I think she got off on it, man.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I had some choice words for her. I said, oh, well, hell, we fucking already ruined it with all the F-bombs. You're a fucking psycho. You're ugly as fuck. You are a piece of ass. I don't like you. You stink. Go away. Leave me alone. The meaner I would be.
But hey, I had a lot of fun that night.
Yeah, no, I never said that.
You were just hammered.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Yeah. And the more I would say, the more she would keep coming by.
She's like, oh, no, you don't.
Yeah, I'm not kidding you, dude. You could not take a hint.
Yeah.
I know she thought maybe she's getting a sugar daddy or something, but I mean, I wasn't proud of the fact that I hit it and quit it, but at the same time, I am brutally fucking honest.
Mm-hmm.
Not always, there's, you got to read the room, right?
Yeah, I was always a chicken shit, dude. Like, if I did something I regretted and thought, well, I want it now, then, like, if it was a bar or something that I would go to, and I just quit going to the bar. Like, I ain't going there anymore. My friend's like, fuck, we can't go to that bar anymore.
Well, that was the great thing about being in the military. A lot of places you go to.
You're just like, well, I'm going to a new country tomorrow. So
yeah, you're going to be gone, and I'm leaving
new
the bar.
bar, fucking new country.
Peace out.
Yeah.
Thanks for the herpes.
I just never had the balls to say, like, yeah,
I guess it was, with me, I didn't have time to fucking play. I goof around a lot now, me.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to be serious as hell back then. When I was responsible, I was the battalion independent duty corpsman.
Mm-hmm.
And for those that don't know what an independent duty corpsman, it's like a PA, physician assistant, but in the military. And so I had 900 Marines and sailors.
With dripping dicks.
No, that I was responsible for their health and well-being. So I had to be serious all the time. So I didn't have time to dick around with you, you know? If you're a cunt, you're a cunt. Leave me alone. I'm moving on. This chick wasn't buying it, man. So that's just how I was. I was always direct because I appreciate somebody being direct with me. I don't want you beating around the bush. Tell me what you got to tell me.
Yeah.
I don't have time to play fucking detective and sleuth and figure out what you're trying to tell me. You know, like when your pregnant wife tells you, "Oh man, look at that ice cream commercial. That sure looks good." What you're thinking is, "Yeah, that does look pretty good." What she's thinking is, "I need you to go get me some ice cream right now." Sorry, you need to tell me you want me to go get you ice cream. Otherwise, I'm not going to pick up on it, whether I'm not smart enough or whatever. It's just, tell me what you want.
Yeah.
So I figured I appreciate that. So other people probably don't now that I think about it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
seen any movies, like old movies lately? Like, I don't know, Weekend
we
at
were going to
Bernie's?
discuss this. Yeah. Weekend at Bernie's. Actually, I did. I watched that one. I think we talked about that on one of the podcasts. I watched one because I love one.
Yeah.
And that is like, we're fucking living that now.
How so? Please
Fuck,
tell.
dude. How
Go on.
aren't we?
Please,
Is this
please
for real,
tell.
by the way? Is this a real thing? Is this, see, I have this take. I mean, I think we all know what's going on here. But now, dude, I fucking want another 4 years. I mean, I really fucking do. Because I am seeing shit like, if you can't laugh at this, like, they're legit. Like, did you hear the one where, like, they fucking, because I don't think we spoke since they said, they got up there and said he's mentally incompetent, like, challenge, what is it, the fucking
Study
special
that-
counsel
yeah,
report
yeah.
came out, and that fucking guy got up, and I missed all of it. You sent me the thing.
Yeah.
And I missed all of that. And I was like, oh my God. So when you sent the video, I looked it up and I looked at the clock, the White House clock, and it said 8:45. I already knew something was off because that motherfucker's dead in bed at 8:45. They must have woke him up, laced him with Adderall, put some fucking, I don't know, shot of whiskey in him, and they got him up, and then they thought they were doing damage control, and then it blew apart even more when he's confusing Egypt and fucking Mexico.
Couple bumps of cocaine.
You
You know?
can't fucking make this up. I mean, and it's so good. I mean, it's so fucking good. I am having more fun right now. Granted, the country's burning.
Just that little thing.
Yeah, granted, there's DEI everywhere now, but I am getting such a fucking kick out of this, dude. Like, and then the best part is to listen to the guys the next day go, you know, he confuses some names, but I got to tell you, who hasn't?
Right.
And I'm just like, fucking tell us more. Because if you look at that guy and you say, he's fine.
Well, if you ever watched The View, which I know you wouldn't know.
I've seen the takes from it. It's fucking insane.
They are-
You're losing all credibility.
Oh, for sure.
You're going. You're
Well-
dying on this fucking hill. That's not worth dying on, by the way.
To be fair, they don't have much credibility to begin with, in my opinion. But you're absolutely right. It's like, come on, man. This is the epitome of party over country.
Is it?
Win at all costs.
Dude, at this point, I don't think you like this country.
No, they want to see it burn. But, you know, at this point, up is down, down is up. Everything, 2 + 2 = 17. Nothing makes sense anymore. And I got to tell you, with all the crap going on with Trump, with that ridiculous fine.
Ridiculous. Now the other business owners are talking about,
You know
fuck
what?
this.
And good.
Yeah.
And they should. And they
Yeah.
should all
Well,
leave.
you wouldn't open it. You wouldn't be a developer there ever again. Not if they can do that. They're telling you, we can do whatever we want if you don't believe the way we do. That's exactly what. By the way, they say fascist all the time about the right.
Mm-hmm.
These again, I'll say it again. Anything they say the left or the right is, anything that they say the right's going to do, it's because they're doing it or they're going to do it, and that's the way they are. They're projecting it,
Right.
and it trumps the guy they projected onto.
So they are failing miserably, and I'll tell you why. I've mentioned several times here that I'm not necessarily a Trump supporter, right? I've liked what he did with the country. I don't like him as a person. But let me tell you what, after this blatant disregard for the law, I am now a Trump supporter. I want him to get back into office because it's unconstitutional. It's illegal what they're doing. And no one is calling them on it.
Yeah. Did you see what they're doing? They had a report on it the other day, or an article. Listen to me. They had a report. No, they had an article I read parts of, and it said basically that they are going back right now and trying to write laws because they're
retroactively.
Yes, they're anticipating he's going to win.
Yeah.
So although we still have a chance, they're starting to write laws because he said, and this is why they're doing it, because they know that's what they do. He didn't. Did you know that he didn't know? So this would be such a different administration if he comes in. And I've said this before. There was a lot he didn't know. He didn't know who to trust. He didn't know what was going on. He picked the wrong vice president. Right. Pence was doing shit during COVID. He shouldn't have been hiring people he should have been hiring. And he kind of took that wayward, and Trump was too busy fighting with the media every day to really do anything about it. But they said, they just recently came out and said, so the Republican Party, it's a group formed by Bush, McCain.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. And somebody else, but they formed it for the Republican Party, and right now what they're doing is putting together a list of like 2,000 people they can trust. So if he gets elected, they'll immediately get them in, and they say that they know now who to fire. I guess he didn't know this at first. They went in thinking they couldn't fire anybody. He could have fired fucking like the 2,000 idiots in the system, and he could have gotten rid of all of them because Obama did it, right?
And that's pretty obvious, because if you look at the show he used to have, what was his line? His tagline was, "You're fired." So
he didn't know that, but Obama. So he found out afterwards, too late, that they told him he couldn't, and then because it's deep state, that's who he's going to be firing. They told him he couldn't. Then he looked back. His administration started looking back later. They were all new to it. First thought their excuse was, "Well, we didn't think we were going to win in 2016. Then we won. Then we didn't know what to do." And we were told we couldn't do certain things. Well, they looked it up and they're like, well, Obama fired everybody too. So you can do that. So now they're saying if he gets back in, he's going to fucking just fire shit can everybody, clean the house. And they're trying to put laws in right now that would tie that up for 2 years. So you'd have lawyers and shit and people in his administration would have to be working 2 years nonstop just to unravel all this shit that they've messed up.
We'll just do an executive order.
Yeah, you would think, right? Just get the fuck out of here. You're either fired or you don't get a paycheck. But that's what they're worried about. That's that deep state. That's who the feds, whoever's in it, CIA, the 3-letter words, whoever's in on it all. So they're trying to tie that up right now, anticipating that he might get the victory. But
there it is. Yeah, I am now a Trump supporter for the sole reason of what the Democrats have done. You're 1,000% right when they call us fascists. That's exactly what they're doing. I mean, they are the fascists. This is Germany, Nazi Germany, all over again. You're using political power to go after your political opponents. You're using fabricated charges because, especially with the one where he got fined $355 million, there was absolutely no victim.
Yeah, what are the odds that they asked him before that trial how much money his business had in account in liquidation, and he said about $400 million, and they fucking fined him $355.
I tell you what,
what are the odds?
They're not going to get a cent.
You don't think?
Because even if if it as the appeal process goes on, even if it is maintained by the New York Supreme Court, it's going to go to the federal Supreme Court. And
well, he should definitely appeal it. For sure.
Oh, it's already.
I'm no lawyer, but he's got to appeal that because it's not fair, and it is what it is. They want to tie him up in court. They want to make him go bankrupt. They want to punish him. This is election interference, and it is exactly that. And the same people that said that he was doing, you go back and you look at so many things that they've said. Another one is the January 6th deal. Well, look at when people might not remember this, but when Hillary lost, they election denied that and they tore shit up. 35 people were fucking killed that day. Millions of dollars in damage was done. They tore shit up. They burned buildings down. They fucking went into churches and burned those down. Way worse than January 6th was. And I think they arrested like 90,000 people and fucking 90% of them were set free.
Well, let's not forget old Maxine Waters several years ago saying if you see somebody that's a MAGA or Tea Party, it's inciting insurrection.
And what Hillary did during that protest was insurrection. It was the same fucking thing. Yeah. They went to the White House, remember? They tried to get onto the grounds, but they couldn't. So they wanted on, and they were even saying shit like "Get Trump, get him."
Right.
Like that's the same thing, but they don't talk about that. It's a group of people. It's a weird thing. It is a group of people that think they know what to do. They think they know best. It's Mayorkas thing. Oh, that's a fucking war criminal, man. Well, maybe not a war criminal, but he definitely belongs in jail. Dude, he's done nothing but get into power. And he's not only not protected the borders, he's done his best to destroy the borders. He's
the most incompetent motherfucker I've ever seen.
Yeah, and by the way, the Republicans couldn't impeach that guy. How is that even fucking possible? You guys deserve to lose. You deserve to lose all the time. That guy not only should be impeached, but he should be in prison.
Yeah, well, just like the Democratic Party, the Republican Party of old is no more. It's unfortunate. Again, it's all the hate towards Trump. I don't know how one single man can cause so much derangement in this country. Well, he's a person, and. So I'm going to go back, and the reason, again, why I'm supporting him is you've got the district attorney for the state of New York who ran, her platform was, I am going to get Trump. That was her platform. No, I'm sorry. She should have, number one, she should have never been elected.
It was the judge, wasn't it? Letitia...
the state district attorney. The judge is...
The judge is the same way, right? He didn't even look at... Judge is pretty much like he's guilty.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
In every case that he's gone to court for since this whole madness started, the verdict has been decided before the trial ever began. Mm-hmm. And it's so painfully obvious. And if you're a Democrat out there, if you have a lick of sense to you, put your personal feelings aside, because I promise you, if they can do it to him, they can do it to you. You think just because you're a Democrat that you're safe from any of this bullshit. Mm-hmm. Especially a Democrat, because once you're deemed persona non grata by the Democratic Party, they will go through hell and high water to ruin you completely. And how you cannot see that and how you support that is beyond me.
Because one day it's going to be them.
Yeah,
it's aimed at.
Exactly. And what we're losing sight of everything. It's not about liberals or conservatives. It's about the country and everyone. And I mean everyone has forgotten that. All you have to do is walk around and look at a TikTok video.
Divide and conquer. That was the name of the game, right?
Yeah.
So, it's amazing, like the whole black thing that you hear about all the time, that the Super Bowl, they had the black national anthem. The first thing I said is I want to form an activist group for the Indians, the Hispanics, the gays. They all I want them all having a fucking anthem now. I want 1.5 hours of fucking national anthem. I do, because it costs them money to do it. You can't just pick one group to try to turn a nation on its side. It's got a globe.
Right.
These are the same people that don't give a fuck about anything else. They're having their shit made in sweatshops. They don't give a fuck about, what is it over in China? The freaking, what's the ones they fucking basically put them in Nazi camps. They don't give a shit about any of those people. But they go around act like they do, and they're using the black race to divide an entire fucking country. It's not as racist as it was. Don't try to tell us it is. And it's just black this, black that, black this. But what about everybody else? Blacks are a small minority here in the country. There's Hispanics, no attention. Right. Asians, no fucking attention. It's this one group. And they're using it because they want to try to fucking divide. That's the wedge.
They are dividing. However, I will say this, man. I have a lot of black friends, and a lot of them are waking up to this. And I think
they're being used.
The community as a whole is starting to wake up to this, and you are absolutely right. All they are is pawns in a political game.
Same thing goes what I said earlier. If the left says you're doing it, they're doing it.
Yeah.
So if they say you're racist,
I mean, for fuck's sake, Biden went on the fucking Charlemagne the God show and said, if you don't vote for me, you're not black.
that's how they see it.
How fucking racist is that?
Yeah.
And no one called him out on it. In the black, well, I won't say no one. There are some, but if I was black and that motherfucker said that, you know how fucking offended I would be? And I don't get offended. But that's just so... He just told you right there, you're worthless. You're nothing unless you vote for me. Regardless of skin color, you are not a person. You are a piece of shit if you don't vote for me. That's what I got out of that. So I'm really hoping that our brothers and sisters in the black community completely wake up to this. That not everyone will. I get that.
A lot are though. Well, there's only so.
All you have to do is look on YouTube, man.
Yeah, they get it. They're not.
Yeah.
If they're watching and they're paying attention, they get it.
Well, you know what? The biggest factor for a lot of the black community and most of the population is the simple fact that when Trump was in office, they had money to spend on what they wanted. Look at our food situation now.
Yeah, dude.
We have not paid
Mine's
this
like $125 more a week.
This much on food as a nation in 40-something years.
Yeah, he is the worst president we've ever had. There was a thing the other day, I love this too, because this is how far they'll go. They rated the presidents, he was 14th.
Yeah.
So the fucking guy that's almost got us in 3 wars, possibly a World War III.
I wouldn't say possibly.
Got us in 3 wars and looking to get us in World War III. By the way, dude, this is another thing that no one talks about. Well, he's kept it from getting out of control. He's also, all of the shit you see going on right now, the Russia shit, the fucking Hutu, whatever the shit that is over in Yemen, the Israel shit, that is happening because they know he's not going to do shit. It's that fucking simple. The world's falling apart. The world, not the country. The country is too, but the world especially. It's because he is in power.
Let me ask you a question. Have you heard in any of the mainstream media the number of casualties we've had? As a matter of fact, do you even know we have troops involved in the whole Ukraine thing right now? Literal boots on the ground.
I would imagine, yeah. I don't know how many have died or how many are there.
We've had over 100 fatalities. Over 100. We are not even in official war. What is he doing? But the mainstream media won't tell you that.
They're lying. So I have this take. Might sound crazy. I think there's money laundering. We're dealing with the king of money launderers, right? This is a fucking crime family, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
And he's been doing that forever. I think they're taking our dollars, going over there, they're laundering it, they're bringing it back here to the big corporations, and the big corporations are paying for all this DEI shit. Dude, fucking Disney is just getting stomped. They're making dickhole, and they keep making the shit. And nobody in business makes shit to keep... Dude, could you imagine fucking McDonald's going, we got this new hamburger coming out. I hope all of our fucking supporters hate it. I hope they fucking hate it. It's going to be the worst. I hope they despise this hamburger. I hope 50% of our fucking customer base hates this fucking hamburger and doesn't eat it.
You know, we'll call
Nobody
it the Trump burger.
Yeah. You don't do that. You want everybody, like Michael Jordan, even Republicans buy shoes. That's how business is normally done. Right. Disney's not doing it that way. So that's my take. I think they're fucking sending money over there. They're laundering it. They're bringing it back here to the corporations. The corporations are paying these companies to keep up the shit. And this has all happened under his administration. This DEI shit, dude, none of this shit existed, but not in the way it keeps changing and evolving and growing, and every business is doing it.
I'm not from DEI.
Diversity, what is it? Diverse, equity, and inclusion.
Oh, God.
Yeah. They just added another letter to it the other day.
Okay.
Yeah, this is all him, dude. This is his. So there's a theory out there that all of this shit they thought the corporations were doing, they think now they're starting to think his administration's been pushing all this shit. They've been pushing. They're looking over their shoulders, and they're kind of like, hey, shouldn't there be more black people here? Hey, isn't there too many white people here? And it's all to divide and get this shit going. And a lot of people are looking at the government now and going, this all really kind of started happening big time under his watch. You're seeing us in war. You're seeing inflation. You're seeing the shitty economy. We're going more and more in debt. This guy just gives money away.
You know, I was went down a YouTube rabbit hole earlier, like I normally do, and there was a clip from The View. God, those vile cunts. And Joy Behar is sitting there saying, if Trump gets in, he's going to get us in another war. It's like, have you looked at your current president? We're already in another war. Mm-hmm. Trump got us out of war. And now...
The reason they don't want Trump in office, it's real fucking simple, for those that don't know. He said America's not going to go fight wars in other countries. America's not going to go to war. They don't want that. They want to be at war. And to prove it, the reason why Biden and them are trying to change these fucking laws right now so Trump can't fire people, deep state, military industrial complex, is because they're guaranteeing you Donald Trump can't pull out a war if he gets in office. They want to make sure. One of the things is he can't pull support for Ukraine. Translation to the dummies. They're saying you can't stop war. We want war. That is all Biden's administration is doing. He is a puppet. Dude, go back to when he was running and Obama would not give his endorsement. I think he gave it like in a fucking the 11th hour.
Right.
That's because they were negotiating with him. Michelle and the powers that be and all these people behind the scenes, the corporations, all this, the squad, all those people were saying, we're going to use you to force this crazy left radical ideas. And they struck up a deal, said, we'll finally make you president, but you have to do the shit we do. And the minute that he gets in, you start to see this shit, this radical fucking changing. You start to see defund the police. You start to see all this DEI shit everywhere. It's not coincidental all this happened.
No, nothing.
Yeah,
there's
the
no such
transgender
thing.
movement has made leaps and bounds under his administration. Leaps and bounds. And
Let me tell you what.
Whether you like that or not, whatever. But there's nothing wrong with it's a kid aspect of it. The books. He was put in there to just fucking do that. That's why he's there. And they wanted to make a hard left move, radical move, and they've done it.
I'm so sick of this whole transgender bullshit. You know what? They're such a small percentage of the population that are true transgender. Right now, it's the cool thing. And you know what it is? It's all these fucking loser kids that had nowhere to go before, right? And I get the fact that they want that belonging. But they've been lied to so much and they've been led down the wrong path that it's kind of like the word racist. You've taken all the heat and sting out of that word because you've thrown it around so much. Somebody calls me a racist and I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. Cool story, bro. Because it holds no weight anymore. Same with the whole transgender community. You know what? Be unique. Be who you are. That's cool. That's fine. But stop shoving some bullshit ass agenda down my fucking throat. Mm-hmm. I'm tired of it. The folks that are truly transgender, they need the help. And to be perfectly honest, all of this other bullshit that's going on is completely distracted from the true help that these individuals need. So shame on that community. Mm-hmm. Shame on you fuckers. All of you.
Yeah, and then when they commit, I heard something the other day that they, like 8 of the 9 last mass shootings that you don't hear about have been transgenders.
Oh, yeah.
What about the KC Royals, Chiefs one, right? Media doesn't say a fucking thing about that. Who did it? Because it was 2 black gang members.
Yep.
Right? Not a fucking word about who it is. Not a fucking word about anybody else. That it's 2 white guys. It's all over the fucking news. Yep. Their faces are everywhere. It's not news if somebody else does it.
That's
They're
right.
protecting
the agenda.
It's a way to divide. They're
completely. The agenda.
Yeah.
Divide. And that's what they're doing. They're protecting the agenda.
Yeah, and the reality of that is, dude, is that these are criminals. I think those guys reached arrested like 20 fucking times prior to that. They should be in jail.
Right.
And those shootings don't happen.
Right.
And then what do? They always want to come back and take your guns. Oh, it's a gun problem. Well, look, it's not a fucking gun problem. Like I heard a guy put it the other day best. And it was great the way he said. He says, and I think I've heard it actually used in that context. But if you're go get drunk one night, you drive your car, you kill a family of 5, you wouldn't stand up in court if you said it's not me or the alcohol, it's the cars.
Ban the cars.
Ban the cars. And that's exactly the same fucking thing it is. It's the guns. No, it's the fucking criminals that have the guns.
The same thing as saying, well, fucking let's ban spoons because they made me fat.
Mm-hmm.
No, your fucking fat ass stuff in your mouth with that spoon made you fat. It's the same sickening story, man, that there is no accountability on anyone anymore. Mm-hmm. No one's responsible for anything except for the evil orange guy.
Yeah, well, one of the things I teach my kids all the time, and I'm sure you do the same, as I say, don't ever be a fucking victim. No excuses, and you're not a victim. And if you can instill those thoughts in your kids, don't be a victim. If you fucked something up, if something went wrong, it's all on you. Fix it. You're not a victim. Don't ever be a victim. And those words right there, teach your kids to be like that, will already set them apart. Fuck college. Fuck everything else.
Right.
You already will set them apart because these generations coming up, the ones before them, are not leaders. They are not winners. They're people that are used to getting shit now that they didn't fucking earn and they don't deserve.
They're losers.
And
let's just face it.
If you tell your kids not to be a victim and not to accept easy wins, they will be true champions. And everyone else, they're going to excel. That's the number one step, and it's going to separate them from these future kids where everyone's saying, here, you did fucking great, even though you didn't, and you get this position, even though you don't deserve it.
You know, my buddy Lou says it all the time. He says, I really don't care what they teach in school because I parent my child.
Yeah.
They know the difference.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's right, but it's still pathetic that they have to be subjected to all that crap. Dude, I never thought I would say I was a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
But now, you know, and I imagine this is going to happen to a lot of people. He's going to get even more support.
Yeah.
Because of they're atrocities against this man. Mm-hmm. And not only against the man, but to our entire institution as a nation.
Yeah.
You know, they're showing that, there are people that are above the law and that they will do whatever they want, whenever they want, regardless of the consequences and who gets hurt and who doesn't.
Yeah, and unfortunately, and I don't mean to step on your toes there, but the true hateful, the really people that tell you you're hateful, are the people that hate him so much they can't get past their hatred, that they're willing to forego this, let this fucking just slide, because they hate so much. And that's what we're really dealing with, is a group that can't get past their hate and their emotions.
It's true. It's all true. A bunch of fucking individuals that didn't have enough daddy or mommy time when they grew up, and now they're a bunch of whiny fucking bitches, basically.
Mm-hmm.
For the longest time, I've toed the line of, well, I'm pretty neutral for a lot of things, and after what I've seen these last couple of weeks with the justice system, you just pushed me. I wasn't gonna vote.
Mm-hmm.
Trump's gonna get my vote now,
mm-hmm.
because of I can't let these other people continue to break the law and to do the things that they're doing for their own personal gain.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it comes down to, their own personal gain, and power to the party. You know, party first, party over country.
First and foremost, they carry that sense of entitlement. They literally think
Well,
they're the ones to run this country, and no one else can, and no one else can do it better than they. But, you know, let me say this, and this is what we're going to see. You've heard me say a million times 2 years ago when we were doing the other podcast, I said it's going to change. You're going to start to see it swinging. Elon Musk is doing his damnedest to get it going that way. That pendulum is coming back. But here's the scary thing. And I don't like this idea either, because I don't think it's going to. I'm trying to think practical. It's not going to be good, but it's going to happen, because it has. I'm one of the people that can remember the gays in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
And how we hated them and couldn't stand them, and we were afraid because we didn't understand something, and we treated them like shit, and it wasn't kind, it wasn't good. because we didn't understand something and we were afraid of it.
Right.
And we are going to see that again. And I'll make the prediction now. I'll say that this is going to change. And we're going to be happy the change comes. And you're starting to see it all the time. The fact that if they're starting to write those laws and so that tells you that they sense a change coming. But with that change is going to come a lot of fucking anger and hatred.
Oh, yeah.
And that pendulum comes swinging back. One of the things I think is going to happen is people are real worried about institutions like Harvard, Yale, and shit like that have been completely fucking captured. That lady that just got fired, forced into retirement, black lady, she wasn't qualified for that job at all. It was a diversity hire.
Right.
Nothing special about her, average at best. Those institutions are done.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to start to see new institutions form. With that is going to become a new radical way of thinking. And it's going to be on the far right. And these far right they were worried about that they think are there, they haven't seen shit yet.
Right.
And they're going to be a bunch of gay hating. They're going to be a bunch of victim hating. It's going to be bad.
I'm not for that at all.
I'm not either.
For the record.
I'm not either, but I think it always comes back. You're going to see an extreme right coming. Extreme right.
There's never a minimal movement of the pendulum, hence the name pendulum. It's always way to the left or way to the right.
Yeah.
We need to stop the pendulum is what we need to do.
We break it. We overcorrect. We break it again, and we overcorrect again. And that's what's going to happen. And one of the things that they're like our kids, our boys, they're going far right now. They're moving, and they don't have a choice, right? They've been sent in that direction because they've been told for the last fucking 4 years, you suck. You're white, you suck. You're fucking male, you suck. Get out of our fucking way, you suck. So they have no choice. There's nowhere else for them to go. But right.
Yeah, toxic masculinity, the whole nine. Did you, I heard just actually a little bit before you showed up, Biden is forgiving all school debt.
Well, remember when...
Trying to, anyway.
Remember when the primaries came? Last time, was it the primary? What was it? I can't think of the word for it. 2-year elections.
Yeah.
He did the same thing right before that, like closer to it. Mm-hmm. He all of a sudden, hey, I'm going to forgive like 1.8 billion in college debt, and he's doing it again. Look, here's the reality: he's getting fucking crushed.
Oh yeah,
he's doing the same thing he did to try to get the last election for. They're going to take your abortions. They're going to do this, and they pulled all that shit. They're going to start to do that again. And on top of it, the problem is, they have so much resources. Yeah. They have the media. They have everybody. They've got the money. And Trump doesn't have anything. Look at his last campaign, right? Like he got together a bunch of money, and they still all the billionaires came out and just donated. You get Zuckerberg. Changing the way voters are voting. They just really want to get those independents, and that's what they're doing. But it's hard to beat them, man, because the money's all there. It's not like people say, well, how did it get that way? Why are they? Well, it's different. The billionaires used to be the oil refinery guys, the Texas oil millionaires. They used to be the coal miner millionaires, the fucking rare precious metal millionaires. Now they're billionaires. Now all the billionaires are big tech. Media moguls,
big liberals,
and they're all on that side. Yeah. So that's why you're seeing the support now. They're on the money. The billionaire club is now on the side of them because we don't do a lot of that shit we used to. The big money's in big tech. It's in media. It's in corporations and shit like that. It's all owned by the right now.
So I think Trump will legitimately win the election. I don't think we'll see him in office.
You'll never see him in office.
I'm still going with that.
No.
I want it. I want it desperately now.
We've talked about what we have. I have another view, another way of looking at it. It's going to sound really conspiratorial, and you may be able to attach QAnon to it because that's what you do if you want to you just attach QAnon. But I thought about it the other day. Something my buddy said a while back. It's really struck a chord in me. Alex Jones, I think, has said it too, that the January 6th thing, you don't want to get violent with them. What they want is you to get violent. They want your guns.
Right.
So if you're a gun owner, that's what they want. That's what they're really going after.
Ain't never going to happen.
It's not going to happen unless what I think this year could bring. Dude, I think this is going to be the nastiest election that this country has ever seen. There's going to be something that happens. And we talk about Trump not getting in. We talked about him being hit. Look at all these migrants they've let in, right?
I'm sorry, I was looking at I don't know if your Jeep lights are on. Did you turn your lights off? Wait till it comes back on.
I don't think so, unless I'm hitting on my phone.
Anyway, yeah, look at that. I can't tell if that's... I think it might be just a reflection. So,
looks like something's going on, huh?
Yeah, you want to go check it real quick?
No, I'll just hit it here. I gotta... But,
So, Trump... There's no way. There's no way he's getting back in office. I've said it before. I'll say it again, either by hook or by crook. There's no way. There's no way he's getting in office. But where does that leave us?
well, so here's my take. We've talked about what'll happen. They're not going to let him in. And if that means what we think it means, that's what's going to happen. Yeah. They're letting all the migrants in. It could very well come from that. Somebody that was paid to do something.
Right.
I think, dude, whatever happens, we're going to be blown away by what this country. We're going to finally see it and go, fuck. A lot of people. I say this to a lot of people. I say, why don't you think this could happen? Well, because this is not something we've ever seen before. And I said, you realize we go to other countries and we kill their leaders.
Kennedy.
We fucking we kill their leaders and we take over their countries. You don't think they can turn that shit on you?
Right.
If they need to, they're going to. But one of the things this is a new thing I started thinking about. I think there's a great possibility. I don't care what people are saying after what we just seen. I think there's a great possibility they throw him in jail for life. And I think at that point, either he's assassinated. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know people think that's crazy. I sure as fuck don't. He's assassinated or he's thrown in jail. And I think that January 6th thing that we've seen, and this is going to be a win-win for them because they get him out of the office. He's never going to be in. And at the same time, they incite what I think could be a civil battle. We're already in a civil battle, right? When you see people fleeing red to red, blue to blue, you see big blue states getting bluer, red states getting redder. That's a fucking civil battle.
That's no mistake
separating already and dividing up.
We are already in a civil war. It's just not a shooting war.
Yeah, and I think what could happen is if we see that January 6th thing, if you do something like that, you throw him in jail, you tamper that far with an election, their hopes might be that not only did we get him out of the way, but we finally drove these fuckers to the crossing point. People start taking arms or something like that, and they're just going to, say what you want to say about your ARs, it's going to be over. They send drones. They're going to fucking wipe you out. They can wipe out whole countries. They're not going to have any fucking problem wiping out Texas. They're just not.
Well, I tell you this. The one saving grace is that there are still enough people in the military that would just not follow those orders.
Right, but they don't have the equipment that's going to be... Those guys will
they
sit
do
from
have
their
the
fucking... Those bureaucrats are going to sit from their fucking thing and just drop bombs, droids. Or drones. What the fuck am I saying?
You got to have the operators to do it, though. And they do
have
the equipment.
Them, and they're very fucking loyal.
Well, what I'm saying is the ones that... Again, there's a lot of people in the military today that just will not... They will not fight against American citizens, period. Well, and guess who? Guess who has the equipment? Yeah, the bureaucrats think they have it, but the fucking operators on the ground there are saying, fuck you, I'm taking your shit.
Yeah, maybe. I think what that would do, they won the last time. I have zero doubt they think they'd win this time. And I think once that war is finally over, they'll go with the guns forever. They'll take them. And you'll never see them again in this country.
It's either that or I don't think they want to get into that fight. I really don't.
I don't think they do either. I think they kind of worry a little bit now because they've been exposed. I think we're going to see something, dude, that we're going to stop and go, fuck, I didn't know it was that bad.
Think of all the veterans that we have in this country that are no longer serving. They know how to defeat those systems that they used to operate. Mass going to ground, man. It's going to be guerrilla tactics like you've never fucking seen. And I hope to God it never comes to that.
Right, yeah.
But I do not think that they will be successful in taking over the country at that point. All fucking bets are off. Their fucking broad base that follows them are a bunch of fucking pansies for the most part.
Well, the revolutionaries is what they are, and they're always the first to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, they run, they get killed.
Yep.
Yeah, all the people doing all the talking. It's happened. This isn't the first time those people the revolutionaries have spoken up, and they're always the first ones to run. They're the first ones to leave, and they're the first ones to die.
They're the fucking loudest bark with no fucking bite.
Yeah, throughout history.
So, I don't ever want to see it to come to that, but I don't think it would go quite the way that they think it would go.
Yeah, I just think we're gonna be shocked this year. I really do.
Yeah, something. They're definitely not giving up without a fight. For sure.
Yeah, and they play dirty.
They do.
Yeah.
And they're good at it.
I've lived fucking a while now, and I've seen it's amazing that people are talking like what you're talking about this. I can't believe they did it. They will do whatever they want. They think that they are the entitled people to run this country.
Right.
And no one else should ever get in the way again. And I think that's when you see that. They've done that. I think you're about to see something else.
So here's the thing, man. Just think if they put all of that energy that they use into going after the Republicans, this, that, the other, if they put that energy into fixing our country, I might consider going Democrat.
Well, they don't want to, though.
Exactly.
And the idea that they have today is it's a reformation. It's break it down. It never worked. It needs to be reinvented, and it needs to be done in our image. That is why you're seeing the destruction of history, the destruction of statues, the annihilation of historical characters and figures. And
Wait, you're saying they're trying to take the truth out? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they want to destroy what this country was. They don't think that it works, and they want it redone. You know, they want it redone for modern cultures. It's time. And that's what you're seeing right now. That's why you're seeing. Look, make no mistake, dude. They're all on the same side. All those guys are all thinking the same thing. We know what we're doing, dude. The key words to me, the most arrogant fucking thing I think I've ever heard, and I can't believe people don't invest much more interest in it. It's the most arrogant fucking, because it implies two things. It implies we're right, even though we don't know we're right, and we know we're right because we can see the future. And that's, you guys are on the wrong side of history. It's the most fucking arrogant thing I've ever heard in my life.
Right.
They're telling you, we don't know what happens, but we know we're right. Now, who said that before? There was another guy that thought the same fucking thing, remember? 1940s he came up, 1935, came up after a war.
1939, maybe?
Yeah, said, I'm right, and I'm going to be on the right side of history. Every motherfucker that's ever said it has been a tyrant. And this is no different.
Does he come from the Vasaland?
He sure does.
Oh. Jawohl.
It is that. Think of that comment. You were on the wrong side of history. They fucking say it freely, dude.
Yeah.
And the bad part about it is they say it in a condescending manner towards you, like a school teacher would say to a fucking 2-year-old. Mm-hmm. And it implies so much because they're telling you, no matter which way this goes, we're always going to be right.
You know what? If you're listening, and regardless of what political affiliation you are, I say fuck both parties. You know what? Your loyalty to them is clearly not warranted because they shit on you left and right, and that's for both sides. And it's time to get rid of both fucking parties.
Mm-hmm. I will say this about Trump: for those that don't like him, I think we could do better too. I think we're capable of so much more from both sides.
For sure.
But again, there is a reason that they don't want him back in.
Can we talk for a second about the delusional Nikki Haley?
Yeah. Let's get into that because my buddy asked me about it today, and I think did we talk about this last time about?
I don't remember
her being the puppet on the. I said they got their candidate.
She's a rhino for sure, man.
Yeah, well, they got their candidate, and now she just comes out the other day. She goes to Nevada. She's fighting for no delegates. when you run for president, you're trying to get delegates. That's how it works. She knows she's not getting delegates yet. She's still in the race.
Yeah.
She goes to New Hampshire and she said just yesterday that she's not going to drop out.
She is so narcissistic.
But folks, the reason why she's not dropping out, it has a two-way meaning. There it is again. The reason why she's not dropping out is she's working because she's actually being supported by the billionaire class on that side. The same people are trying to fund the Trump, all this shit, the prosecution and shit like that. They got their puppet on the left, this fucking dolt that can't even stand up, and they got their puppet now on the right. And I think I know what they're hoping for. They can get his ass in jail.
There's a plan. There's always a plan.
They can get his ass in jail, and that leaves her and Biden. Now, ask yourself this. She should have dropped out.
She should have.
It costs a lot of money.
So I don't think the Republican National Committee will back her.
Hold on. It costs a lot of fucking money to run for these things.
It does.
She says, I'm not dropping out. You have to drop out because you can't afford to run unless you're being funded by the other side. The whole thing here is to throw his ass in jail. She'll be the only running mate, dude.
I don't think so, man. I really do believe because of her number. The number, I mean, DeSantis will jump back in. Vivek will jump back in. Christie will probably jump back in. They all smoked her in the polls. I don't think the RNC will go for that. I don't think they will back her. And if they don't back her, she ain't going nowhere, no matter how much money George Soros is pumping into her.
Maybe.
She's a deceiving piece of shit in my eyes. Mm-hmm. The way she talks about, I watched a snippet of her giving a speech the other day. She's talking about, oh, my husband's a combat. Oh, the one you fucked around on. Yeah, that one. Go ahead, keep bringing him up, whore.
Yeah, in a bar. Was she like taking these guys to bars? And
she's fucking everybody,
bless her
man.
heart.
So, fuck you, Nikki Haley. Quit because you're a loser. You're a loser. You're never going to win. I'm going to beat everyone. Everyone knows it. And if I die, if I'm Hillaried, then Vivek or someone else will come in. Loser Nikki, go away.
Hey, you know one of the things I heard about her the other day, and I forgot, and I'm sure you remember if I bring it up. Do you remember when she got out after Trump was out of office, and because she was with him for a while, went to South Carolina, everyone was making fun of her because she was like, I can't remember how much in debt, but millions of dollars in debt. Turns out she had a really expensive clothing habit and goods habit. So she was in debt. This is interesting because it's going to tell you a lot about where she's at now and why she's there. She's in debt, didn't know what she was going to do to get out of debt. Then all of a sudden she gets all these jobs and all of a sudden she's multi-millionaire again. Yeah. Now, I heard Vivek the other day say this, and he said it best, and he doesn't have to worry about it because he's a billionaire. Right. But he said there's nothing worse than someone who likes money and is in debt. Basically, money is what they want.
They'll do anything
and they'll do anything they can, and that's why you're seeing her where she's at now.
Yeah.
So,
well, she's horrible. She's a horrible person.
Why don't they talk about that, though? You never heard anything. They were making fun of her. So you can go back and Google that up. She was fucking going to have to file bankruptcy like 4 years ago. Now all of a sudden she's a multi-millionaire again.
I'm sure that she's getting. There's not a doubt in my mind
they
that
paid
funds
her.
are getting.
Yeah.
Paid
They
to her.
said you're broke. We know you like nice shit. What if? And that's Biden. Biden's bought and paid for. By the way, Biden's the most obvious I think we've ever seen. They're all kind of bought and paid for a little bit.
Right.
But Biden is definitely, and they're not even fuking hiding it
Biden
anymore.
doesn't give a shit. He's like, I do it. So
dude,
what?
he can't even fucking move. Like we're like seconds. Dude, we are. So there's people say, well, I don't know if he'll make it through the next term. He won't make it. He's not gonna make it through this term, guys. No. It's that bad.
Everybody's got to go, and I don't wish it on anybody.
Well,
but you know what? Some people have lived past their fucking usefulness.
Well, I'm thinking something happens to him, and we're gonna get Kamala Harris, and people are worried about that. And I would answer that by saying, can it get any worse? Look, he's not running the office, and she won't be either. So
the good thing about that is she will get fucking crushed. That fucking her own party doesn't even like her.
Well, they're starting. You hear what they're saying now? Well, here's my favorite part, dude. they say it about both. Well, and her it's classic because no one likes her, and they know that no one likes her.
Right.
They don't like her. But they say, well, if you talk to her behind closed doors, she is so graceful, so charming. She's almost addictive. You can't get enough of her. She just has that it factor. And
shit factor.
Then I say this. You're a politician. It's supposed to be reverse. Like everyone loves Newsom. He does talk well. He speaks very well. But behind closed doors, he's a sociopath, right?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be an asshole behind closed doors in the greatest thing since sliced bread in front of a microphone.
Right.
But, well, it's like this.
Or they're just trying to prop her up for the inevitable.
What if I told you, what if I was you were scouting, you came to my ballpark one day and there was a hitter. And you said, I hear he's pretty good. He's got quite the stick. And I say, yeah, he's really good. He's actually the best hitter I've ever seen, better than Babe Ruth. And he said, what's the problem? Well, he can hit home runs left and right with an empty stadium. But the minute you put him in front of a stadium, he just strikes out.
Same principle.
Same fucking principle.
Yep.
If you can't do it, you can't fucking do it. How many people you think are going to draft that fucking dude? Nobody. Nope. Because unfortunately, this game's played in front of a fucking stadium.
The big Ray Little League coach.
Right. Yeah, fucking nobody there.
Take the hint, fucking Kamala.
Yeah, it's the craziest thing what they say, though. And then Biden... Yeah, where's these moments that he's so fucking grand? I want to see him. I legit want to see them. I have a feeling he's fucking fallen into a soup. But whatever. We'll go with what you say. Get me a video of that guy that's so... By the way, just put it out there. I think I've said it before. I'll say it again. If you can't keep up with Joe Biden, you either don't have an Apple Watch telling you your fucking heart's about to stop... or you need to get to an ER immediately.
Right.
And I mean,
just call 911.
You've done triage. You know that's triage situation. It's fucking tow ticket and everything. It's fucking, you got a problem.
It's expected.
You're cyanotic. There's something wrong with you right now. You can't breathe. You okay?
In the military medical parlance, we would call that individual expectant and put him off to the side.
Yeah. Fucking think of that. Think of saying that I can't even keep up with him. By the way, that's like the fucking...
that's because she's too busy sucking cock to get where she needs to be.
Yeah, dude, it's just... How in the fuck can't you keep up with this dude? Like,
did you see the debate between her and Tulsi Gabbard?
Oh, Harris?
Tulsi
she tore up.
Shredded her.
Yeah.
It wasn't even close, man.
And then she gets diversity hired, because that's what that is, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
It's a diversity hire.
I guess she's black because she voted for Biden.
Oh, she tore Biden up too, though. Remember? She's
I'm
one
talking
that's called
about
him.
Kamala.
Yeah. She tore him up. Remember, she called him a racist.
Oh, of course.
Now she's his vice president. But that's those fuckers lie all the time.
Yeah.
I take that with a grain of salt.
Well, he is a racist.
Dude,
But again, there's that word having no meaning again.
It does when you talk about Joe Biden.
It doesn't have any
Think
meaning.
about the guy. Think about this guy, though. He was a fucking 2-time loser, right?
Right.
He was last in his fucking class, when he was in fucking law school. He knew he wasn't going to get a job as a lawyer. If he was going to be like that guy you call when somebody hit you in a
Call old the Hammer Stanley.
Not even that good. He'd be the guy working for that fucking dude. He'd be the guy coming out to look at your damaged vehicle. That's what Joe Biden was going to be, and he knew it. So he does what he does best because he's a fast thinker, right? So he gets into politics. He runs for president, lies his ass off, has to drop out, gets in again, loses his ass again. He figured it out, though, and I'll give him credit for that. And this is, in my opinion, what makes him the racist that he is. He's seen the tide changing. He understood they were looking for a black guy. He's asked, he's running against Obama, gets his ass beat again, but gets asked. He figures it out. My guess is he probably reached out to Obama. He rides the coattails of a black man when the country's changing over, trying to go a different direction, and he gets on. So the ticket into the White House, black man. Then he does it again. He's made it in the White House twice on the coattails of fucking black people.
Joe, if you like your White House, you can keep your White House.
But if people say this, they say, well, he made the mistake of picking her, but did he?
No.
Because I think that he thought if I pick a black woman again and ride the coattails, I'll get into the White House.
It was a strategically smart move to do. And you can't fault him for it.
Vivek says it's Jill Biden made that selection, by the way.
That Jill?
He says she thinks since day one she's been the one. They knew. Yeah. He thinks she knew how bad he was.
If you know anything about her, she is a raging cunt. And there's no doubt in my mind that she is pulling the strings. No doubt.
That's what he said. He basically came out and said he thinks she picked her. She knew how bad Joe was and knew that it would be almost impossible. They would get rid of him shortly after, but knew it would be impossible to do that if he had a black running mate.
There's a reason you don't see her much. Because she's running the country.
Yeah.
She's busy.
Yeah. I don't think she's running I still think it's the Obamas. And it's the billionaire class, and he's part of that.
It's that whole, that whole Bilderberg, the whole Soros team. Yeah, they are truly the ones pulling the strings. But let's just call it the on-ground scene commander is Jill. So if you want to look at it from big picture, you've got the president, commander-in-chief, gives the orders down to his generals who are on the battlefield. The generals are the ones, they're not in charge, but they're making shit happen. She's making shit happen. It's not him.
You know the best part about this is, and this goes along with I want 4 more years, is that he's going to die in there, right? And when he dies, he's going to know 2 things. He's the worst president ever, and Jill never loved him. Because there's no way if you fucking love someone, you would do this to them.
I agree.
Yeah, but we better wrap it up, buddy, because it's getting late. I got to get the daughter home.
One last thing I'll say is that, well, fuck it. Never mind. Because that'll probably just lead us down another fucking 20 minutes. But, hey, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for listening. Thanks for participating. And, hey, we'll see you guys next week. Peace out. Bye-bye.